Keep going. Push, 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 push.
Good morning. It is now Monday, so 1 week following the marathon. So I've had, just going to check in with how I've recovered from the marathon. Maybe a few little tips for recovery, maybe a few things I might be doing wrong with my recovery, but just I'm going to go through sort of what I've done in the past week and what I'll be doing this week too. Recover from that marathon and get back to my training again, so focus on the 10k event coming up in December, so I'll be looking at dropping down the mileage a bit and focusing on a bit of speed to get that 10k time down and hopefully try and get the PB next month. So last week was every run bar one of my runs last week was done at a really easy pace. So for me it was, I kept my heart rate pretty low and tried to do around 8:30 to 9 minute miling. So I was working away, quite a stressful busy week last week, working away in Norfolk for the whole week. But it was just nice to get out for a little run in between work, just for a bit of a break really, more than wanting to get some mileage in. So I didn't run until Tuesday morning. I had a really gentle 4 mile jog on the beach at Great Yarmouth. I had a day off Wednesday and ran on Thursday morning too. Again, Thursday evening. So Thursday evening did a 4 mile at Kingsland. Similar sort of pace, 8:30s, 8:40s. Just keeping it nice and easy and recovering. So it's a bit of a strange situation, but by the weekend I was only on 8 miles coming into the weekend. So I took Friday off too, and on Saturday did a couple of 5k efforts. So, well, not 5k efforts, but for me it's fairly easy for me. When I was pacing ready to a 27 minute in the morning before Parkrun, and then with a few of the guys, and we supported Stuart Beckett. So Beckett runs on his YouTube. He wanted to break 29 minutes, so I'll pop a bit of content in from that on this week's video. I'm going to go through the runs I'm doing this week. So this Monday, just an easy 10k. I think I'm around about 8ish, 8:30 in a mile. Quite happy with that. Then I'm going to do another easy run tonight with a few of the guys. Probably around 7 miles. Similar sort of pace, maybe a little bit slower. The rest of the week, I'll just keep it fairly easy and try and get back to maybe back end of the week, Thursday or Friday, try and hit a light session, just get back into the swing of things of hitting a session, and then looking at next week, try and get back to training properly if my legs allow it. So I've given myself 2 weeks to recover, eating well, sleeping well, hopefully, and I'll check in on the following runs. And for those of you who saw the Bournemouth vlog about 4 weeks ago, I've treated myself to another pair of Invincibles. I found some about half of the ticket price with various members offers or whatever at about £82, so I thought, although mine aren't worn out yet, I'd quite like another pair, so this is a lovely pair I've gone for. It's now Friday lunchtime, just checking in from my session I'm doing. So I'm doing a 6 for 3 minute session, ease it back in, keep it nice and relaxed, probably try and hit target around 6 minute mile pace and try and dip just under that. Just coming to the end of my warm-up now, so I've done a mile warm-up, 6 for 3 minutes. I'll check in during the session. first 3-minute rep done, round about, just got over half a mile in that one, so that's just where I wanted, just under 6-minute mile pace. So just try and hold that for the rest of the 5 reps now. Going to take about 90 seconds roughly between each one. So time for the next one. The second rep done now, just getting a little bit warmed up. 4 more to go. That's rep 3 done now, halfway there. So before that rep, I told myself to focus on my form, just focus on keeping the hips up slightly, which then allowed me to have a longer stride. And it was actually my quickest rep, even though it felt the most comfortable, like I was running the most relaxed in that one. And using the least amount of effort, it was actually the quickest rep. So probably need to save up before my first rep and just build into things with a good form, keep that form for the rest of the session. Ready to go for number 4. Rep 4 done, so 2 to go. That one felt a little bit trickier because I was weaving through the trees a little bit, but it affected the pace a little bit. So I did work hard for that one, but it was close to that 6 minute, and the other ones have been more 5:40, 5:50 pace. So back in with the last couple of reps, I'll get going. That's 5 reps done, on to the last one. So that felt okay, just about 5:50s, same sort of pace. Just do the last one. I've actually got the wind behind me for this one, so it should feel fairly comfortable, or if it's not fairly comfortable, it'll be a lot quicker than the others. So checking at the end. Session done, 6th rep done, just on the jog home now. We're nearly back. Yeah, felt a good session, good to get back into it. I've done a lot quicker paces than that. I've done slower paces than that before, but it was quite nice, similar pace to the session I did just before Frankfurt Marathon. Just under 6-minute miles for 6 for 3 minutes, which I think is a really good session. Just nice and simple, and keep the main session simple, but you can vary it by mixing up the rest. So I was having like 90 seconds static, which is probably one of the easiest rest periods. You can mix it up. If you're marathon training, put a little jog recovery in, just to keep your aerobic system going. Maybe take the reps a little bit slower, or you can vary it by maybe a 4 for 3 minutes if you're building up the mileage, or an 8 for 3 minutes if you're if you can get a lot of mileage in, or you're training for something like a half or a marathon. So I'll check in later. Time to recap this week's training. So we'll start with Monday. So that's the first run I was filming in the morning on Monday. That was a 10k run at 8:09 minutes a mile. So it's just nice and easy pace. A little bit slower than what I'd normally do an easy pace, but I was still recovering from that marathon. It was only 8 days post Frankfurt there. I then doubled up in the evening, so I did 7 miles with Robbie and Steve. That was around 8:25 a mile. We just all wanted to keep it nice and easy and use that as a recovery run there. On Tuesday, this was the first quicker run of the week really, and first quicker run since that Saturday run I did with Sam post the marathon. So that was 9 miles at just over 7-minute mile, 7:03 mile pace. That was back to somewhere near what sort of steady pace I'd be running with Sam usually. Then I did 2 steady runs. So Wednesday night I did a steady run with Andy at Ashby pace. So it's the pace he's going to be running the Ashby 20 at, which was around about 7:30 a mile pace. So he wanted 5 or 6 miles at that pace, and I ran 7 miles with him at 7:21s. Going into Thursday now, so I remember I was feeling, because I'd done 2 steady runs on the bounce and my legs were probably a little bit heavy still from that marathon, I was feeling a little bit stiff going into this recovery run. What I probably would have done is just done the 1 steady run in the week and then kept the other run in either easy or a session kind of run, because you don't want to be running too much in, for me, it's the sort of grey zone between sort of marathon pace, which is about 6:40s, 6:50s, and anywhere between about 7:30s, and anything over 7:30s would be recovery pace. So if I run between that 6:40s and 7:30s, I'm not really gaining too much from that, other than just running at a nice, comfortable, steady pace. So I only like to do one of them sessions a week. So on Thursday, I did a 10k with Jacob and with Robbie, and we did that around 8:37 miles because it was one of Jacob's first runs, easing back in after his injury. So it's good to get him back up to 10k, and also Robbie had done a session the night before, so he was using that as a recovery run. I then hit my session, which I've filmed in this vlog. So that was on Friday at lunchtime. I did 6x3 minutes with 90 seconds rest. So I love doing a 6x3 minute session. It's probably one of my favourite sessions, and you can obviously taper it up to sort of an 8 or maybe even 10 by 3 minutes if you're doing a marathon training session, or you can drop it down if you're either easing back in, which is like I'd probably typically do an 8 by 3 minutes, but I'm easing back in with a 6x3 minutes this time. So it gives you a good chance to work on your 5k and 10k sort of pace speed, but over an interval, so you're getting rest in between each of the intervals there. So that completed my training week. That was 40 miles midweek. Quite happy with that. During the week, because I had stuff on at the weekend, and on Saturday I had the third day and final lesson day of my run coaching course. It was over in Gloucester, so I used Saturday as a rest day because I'll be driving down there, doing a full day on the course and driving back at night. So it was a really good course. I've enjoyed doing that, and I've got an assessment day in February time. So once I've passed my assessment, I am looking to go into a bit more run coaching than I'm doing at the moment. So at the moment, I'm coaching 4 of the guys who are my friends who I run with, and putting them through a plan to prepare for the various races that they've got coming up. But once I'm a qualified run coach with UKA, I'll be a level 2 run coach. I'll be able to provide run coaching for anyone who would want that coaching there. So that's something I'm looking to do over winter and get set up ready for when I am qualified and can offer that support to people. So thanks for watching this week's vlog. I'll be back next week with sort of a weekly updates as I train towards some shorter distance targets, over 10k and 10-mile races coming up soon, and building towards winter half marathon training. See you in the next one.
Good man, mate. Great work, Stu. Keep looking ahead. Come on.
Go on, Stu. You can overtake Steve.
Nice one. Keep going. Push, 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 push.